Hey guys, this is Chris Fayte with Cheat the Game coming back at you. Today we're going to be going over part 2. If you remember in the last lesson we went over step 3 and we just did a fly hack so we can get all the lines. And Dartbite was actually telling me that you can actually jump on those lines without using the fly hack. Of course, you know me. If I can't do it on my first try, I'm ready to hack it. And that's most of you too, that's why you're here. But I appreciate Dartbite, and thanks for coming to the channel, bro. I really appreciate it. What we're going to do today is we're going to try to find that collision field so we can actually go through enemies. And if I have enough time, we'll just go ahead and see if we can do the teleport also, because you can also use a teleport to get to the door and bypass the enemies as well. And I'll link the teleport tutorials I have up in the upper right hand corner. Please go take a look. I'm really not going to be explaining that, as I've went over that step by step many times on this channel. So but right now let's see if we can find the collision fields, and we're going to have to do a little work with it because we're going to find out later. And this is why I always say when you do your scripts that you want to turn them on and make sure that they're on in different parts of the game. Go through most of the game with them before you consider making a trainer, because you never know how the game is going to respond. And something else could be going through that same opcode later that you're going to need to compare out, and we're going to find that out here as well. So, and I want to show you that. So let's go ahead and I want to get the TUT version that I did. Here's my regular cheat table for it, but here's the TUT cheat table that I did. And you remember we left off with the fly test, and this here I didn't label it. This is the step 3 jump height that we did, and that will always be static, so it will always be the same. So let's go ahead and put this back onto the game. There we go. And let's go ahead and turn these on and get to step 3. Okay, and that gets us over to step 3 where we can pick up where we left off. And I really like playing around with stuff like this, and the hints just really intrigue me. So I wanted to see if I could find just about every possible way I could do this. I love just playing around like that, and you really learn a lot doing that. You know, even if you succeed, it's always good to see if you can find more stuff that you can do. It really teaches you a lot. You go through the coding and stuff and see what you can make out. I guess my explanation of the last lesson wasn't 100% great, but you know, it works. What can you do? What I want to do is I want to go about finding that X and Y coordinate again. Now, I'm not going to look for it like I did last time. I'm just going to go directly to it because I saved all this information, and I know here this is the Y coordinate that I saved. So I'm just going to double click it. It takes me to that part of memory. So if you don't know how to find the X and Y, make sure that you look at the last lesson. I'll show you how to do that, because you'll find that they're together, and usually most games your coordinates will be together close by each other. So let's find out what addresses accesses this instruction, also known as a breakpoint on access, and we'll put it on float. And you see here's our Y coordinate, and we know that X will be right beside it. So really all we have to do, let's just label this Y coord, and we know if we browse the memory region, go over here to the memory dump area, we can see everything that's in that structure. So let's display type float, and here's our Y, and we know right beside it here is our X. So we got X and Y. And what I do when I try to look for collision fields, jump height, or anything else, is I always like looking around in the structures. I look for flag values, and most of your flags are usually going to be on an integer. You will find them sometimes in float form as well, but mostly in integer form. And I always start with a 4 byte. So what I want to do is I want to purposely get killed, and I want to see if anything is changing around here. So remember, this right here is our X and our Y. That's just in 4x form. Okay, so I'm looking for anything that may change or occur when we take damage or get killed. So let's do that. And you see there's lots of things popping up. What I'm normally looking for are 1s and 0s, things that look like a flag to me. Okay, and if you see right here, we have one that's fluctuating between 0 and 1. We have 2 of them that's actually doing that. I just want to make sure. And it's always doing that when we get killed. So that looks like a good place to start. So I'm going to add this one to the current cheat table. And I want to add this one to the current cheat table. And what I want to do is I want to freeze those values just to see if anything different happens. So let's take a look. I want to take a look at this. It's not resetting. We did get killed, but it didn't reset. And let's see if it resets the lines when we get killed. So we're getting killed, but the game's not resetting. So I wonder which flag is in control of that. So let's turn one of them off, keep one on. And we're invisible. We're still getting killed though, but yet it's still not resetting. So we know that this one, this bottom one here, is in charge of resetting the game. And it looks like this one up here is some type of graphical, possibly having to do with our health. It's sensing when we're getting killed, so it's sensing, hey, we're getting killed, and it's not going to change back to 0 until the game resets. And this one here is preventing it from resetting, so that's good. If we see here, this one is also not going back to 0. That went back to 0, so that's possible that has something to do with the particle effects as well. So that's another possibility we can look at if we wanted to. Well, let's go ahead and have the game reset. I'm going to turn that off and let it hang at 1. Let's just have everything reset, and now everything's back to normal. So we know that we need both of these. Maybe we can do something where it doesn't actually go to it. I don't know. See what happens if I just freeze that flag and particle. Okay, it still resets, so it's going through that reset no matter what we do. Well, what I want to look at is just go at one at a time and just see what's going on with it. We can see it compare to 0, so it is comparing that flag. And here's where it's moving 1 into it, and here's where it's totally reset. Let's see, R8, just moving 0 into it. Okay. So let's go up here and see what's going on with it being monitored. I don't see. Actually, let's go to this one where it's moving the 1 into it, because we know a condition was met for the 1 to be moved into there. We can see R8 here is being loaded up with 1, and then right here it's moving the 0 back into it. So I think this just has something to do with the graphical effect, you know, because we totally disappeared, and when we kept that at 0, the little guy just stayed there after he blew up. So I think that's more of a graphical effect. So maybe we should go to the reset. This is the one that reset the game. I think we might have a little bit better luck there. So let's see what's going on with it. We see here it's comparing that byte. Let's see what happens when we get killed and what it goes through to be reset. Okay, so it goes through several things. So let's come up here first, see what's going on with it. It's comparing the byte to 0, jumping people. So the only time it's hitting 1, when it is a 1, then it will run these instructions, and we see there's a call in there. We can go to that call and see what's going on with it. Play around with some things if we want. Let's go back. I also want to see what this particular compare is doing. This also comparing it to 0. And it looks like here's where it's actually moving the 1 into it. So these two are working hand in hand. So this is where it's actually moving the one into it to reset the game. So maybe we should start there first. So we could try a couple of different things. We can have it constantly just jumping over without actually moving the one into it, or having it compare it to 1 all the time where the condition is never being met and it's always jumping and never moving that 1 back into it. So let's try that first. Take a look. Right off the bat, this collision is never acknowledging that it's being hit. So the graphical flag is staying at 0 and the game's never resetting. So we know that if the condition is met and it runs this right here, we know that it's acknowledged that we have touched the collision field and it's resetting the game, because it knows that we have no health, 1 hit kills, and it's going to reset the game. So this prevents it, making it compare it to 1 where the condition is always met because it's at a 0 value. It's always at a 0 value. It will never move the 1 into there, so it will never reset. It will never acknowledge that we've been hit. So that's good. So right then and there, we found the place that, you know, basically we turned off the collision by just changing that one little compare. But we have a problem. Let's go ahead and make an AOB injection so we don't lose our spot. We're just going to call that collision 1. That way we got information, we can get back to it if we need to. And we're just going to have that turn to 1, or compare that to 1 all the time. It's the same thing, it's just jumping allocated memory to do that. There's a reason I needed to jump to allocated memory, and you're going to see why. So we're going to call this collision test, because we're still testing it out. So let's move that up to here and turn it on. Let's turn on a fly test. And we can go ahead and turn these areas on here. So that makes everything go, and if you see, we can go through it. Now we have successfully completed the game. There is still a problem. Now we want to go through the entire thing with all our codes on, and you'll see that we're not done with it. This is why you want to go testing all your scripts in different scenarios, play through most of the game before you make trainers for people, because if not, they're going to run into these type of problems. You're going to have to go back in there and fix it. So really test out your trainers, really test out your scripts before you start making trainers. You won't run into these problems quite as frequently. So let's turn everything back on, and we're going to turn all our codes on, because that's what most people do when they have a trainer. They just go ahead and turn on everything they want right then and there, unless you tell them not to, but they, you know, they do anyway, and it can screw up their game. But see, take a look. The target is not destroying, even though we got it all the way down. So now the person, if they turned on your trainer and turned on that collision field, the enemies on the other steps are also going through that same type thing, where it moves a 1 into the flag value to let the game know that, okay, it's been destroyed, you need to go ahead and take it off the map, let's go on to the next game, or reset the game, whatever it does. Okay, so we're going to have to take this back down, and we're going to have to go back to this area in memory, and we're going to have to see if we can compare that step 3 little guy out with these other enemies that are going through that same instruction. Now there are other ways you can do it too. You can probably back trace it, and at a point where the player separates from the enemies, but we're going to see if we can compare out, because I was wanting to show different ways to compare, and we're actually going to compare registries this time. Let me save what I got, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, thanks guys, sorry about that. So let's go back to our game. Let's reattach it to the game, And I brought up a whole new game here, so let's go back to menu. And here's the instruction. What I want to do is I want to find out what addresses goes through this instruction. Make sure you put it on float. And we want to see if we can collect everything that may be going through that. So let's go turn our other codes on. We will need those, but we're not going to turn on our collision test. Alright, let's do this. Let's see what addresses go through this. Alright, so now we see that that was the enemy on the first step. Let's come over here. And you see the next two enemies on that one. And now we're over to here, so we need our guy to pop up here, so we need to take one from the team. There we go. And it resets. So now we have a way we can compare. So first thing I like to do is open up dissect data structure. And I have played around with some of these already, which is why I want to compare out a different way. So when you go through here, you're not really seeing much of anything. Now there's loose compares we can do, things like that I've taught already, but you see there's not any group differences that stand out. And sometimes one EC will light up as a group difference, but it changes too much. And we find that there's a lot changing too much, and it's just a lot of work to go through to find a good stable compare. 258 is possibly a good one, but you know, I found a better one and I'm going to use it instead. So what I'm going to show you how to do today is use the registries to compare out. Stephen Chapman's gave a great lesson on doing that before. I'll see if I can find that and link that lesson for you in the description also. But what we want to do is we want to come back to this pop-up debugger screen. And I'm going to clear out some of this mess out of the way just so I'm not confusing anybody. Let's stop this. Should I have it already stopped? No, I didn't. And we're just going to be working with this screen. So we know that this bottom is our hero. That's the one we're needing separated from these other three. So I'm going to right click it. We want to show register states. So we know this one is our guy. Okay. And the rest of them we want to bring up as well. Put beside it. So register states, and let's just move this out of the way, and this is what we're looking at. We're looking at these registers the same way we would look at them in the dissect data, but we're just looking at the base registries. What's in those registries? Is there any group differences that we can see? And right off the bat, we can see there's tons of them. RAX has a specific value, but the enemies have a hex value of 80 in RAX. RSI is also different. RSI is 2, we have 2 that are 1F, and we have 1 that's 4. But, you know, we don't really want to look at it in this way. What we want to do is take a screen print of it. That's what I do anyway, take a screen print of it. And I bring up Paint, and I just copy and paste it in there. Because we need these values to be the same the next time we bring the game up. Make sure there's nothing changing. So let's just go ahead and do that and take the game back down. Take this back down, and we're going to redo it all over again. Bring this back up, and let's hook the game back to the game, or cheat engine back to it. Let's turn on our codes, and let's go back to menu, and let's put the debugger back on it. There we go, that's all we need. Alright, and let's do it again and bring back up our information, because we want to compare it with the last time we played. The last time we totally took the game down, brought it back up, so values should change that we're going to change. Let's see if anything stayed the same. So we have all our enemies now. Now we need our hero. Alright, so basically we're just going to do the same exact thing. Show register state. Here's our hero. So we want to make sure we know which one our hero is. Show register states for each of our enemy. Just gotta move it out of the way, and there we go. Move these kind of up here so everybody can see. Alright, so we can see right off the bat REX has stayed the same. And if we don't know, we can just kind of bring down, this was the last time, and we can go look and see what's changed, what stayed the same. We can see RSI values stayed the same. We can use that possibly. Just use RSI number 2, just jump if not equal to 2x. So that we have a lot that we can use here, and you can go down each one. 2, 4, 6 stay the same. In R11, 2 stayed the same. In R12, but the enemies did not, so that's not a good one to use. But it looks like RAX is a good one to use. It's 808080 in RAX, and we have a value that looks like it stayed the same, and it did for a hero. So we can use either value for RAX to compare. So we're going to use RAX to compare in our script. I'm going to leave that up for the time being. Let's go back to mem view. And this, well, we don't really need to go back to mem view, I'm sorry. Let's just take that back down. We know we can use RAX. So let's go back to our script that we've already made. Let's put that back to 0 here, because that's what it would be normally. And we want to do a separation. So we're going to compare RAX, and I'm going to have it compared to the enemy's value of X80. Jump up equal to code. Then right here, we know our enemies are going to meet that condition, and jump to code, and our hero will not. And we're going to have it compare 1 to our hero. Does everybody understand that? Alright, so now let's turn it on. Let's make sure that we go through our enemies, and we do. But the real test is if we can still pass the game with the other enemies. So let's attach it back to the game. And let's turn all our codes on. And 1, and we have our fly test, and we have our collision test. So let's give her a try and see. And our first enemy was destroyed, so our compare is working. Our second step was passed, so it worked for the enemies there, but our guy can still go through enemies here and take a look. So that was indeed a good compare, and we can now go finish off the game. I don't look like I'm going to have time to do the teleport. I apologize about that. But if you guys want me to do a third part to this and do the teleport, because you can do it with the teleport, I'm more than happy to. Just let me know in the comments. If you say, yeah, go ahead and do the teleport one too, I'll go ahead and do it for you also. And we can go through them, and we pass the scenario. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you come out and support the channel. If this helped you out at all, please throw a like on it. Darkbite, thank you also for coming checking it out. It was a real honor for you to do that. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or you can come join us over at our Facebook channel. We got a lot of great game hackers that hang out there that'll be happy to help you. Also over at our Discord channel and our website. All these links will be down there for you in the descriptions. Let me throw a shout out to all my partners over at Patreon and PayPal. These guys help keep the game keep running, and I'm able to do these vids, and I love going through them and everything to help you guys out, show you what I learn as I'm learning it, and we all learn together. So like I say, if you have any questions, just let us know. But the basic thing I wanted you to get out of this is that go in there, play around with stuff. You know, sometimes it's a hit or miss. And I kind of knew more where to go to because I've already been in there experimenting around with it. And I just don't really want to experiment around with it while I'm recording, because this could be a 3-hour long bit if I did that. Maybe I'll do a live stream one day and just, you know, I'll show you what I do, you know, when I'm actually really looking for it and I haven't found it yet. So maybe we can do that sometime in the future. Just let me know what you think. Let me know your input on it, and we're happy to go from there. But you guys take care. Keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating. You all take care of that.